It is 6:49. This is your morning in 8 minutes. Two children are still recovering this morning following a deadly car crash on Magnolia Avenue more than a week ago.
The community is rallying around 11-year-old Gage and his 6-year-old sister Hadley at East Tennessee Children's Hospital. Both kids got a visit from Vols offensive lineman Ollie Lane, long snapper Matthew Solansky, and staff member Anthony Hines on Wednesday. Gage and Hadley were in a crash that claimed the life of their grandfather, 65-year-old Michael Williams. KPD says two people were drag racing along Magnolia Avenue when they ran a red light and hit the family's white Ford Explorer. Hadley has a broken neck, jaw, pelvis, and arm. Gage also has a broken pelvis. With a long road to recovery ahead, the family is asking for your continued support.
Just 100% wholeheartedly prayers, because these kids still are going to need them. We're not really out of the woods yet.
Right now, two people are charged with felony reckless endangerment and drag racing from the crash. We're told Gage could be out of the hospital next week. As for Hadley, no timeline yet as she continues to recover.
Well, right now, investigators with the Knoxville Police Department are working to figure out what led to a pedestrian being hit and killed on I-75 North. This happened last night around 7:30 near Merchant Drive. The road is clear this morning. We'll let you know when we learn new details. And right now, officials are searching for two escaped inmates. One is convicted of murder. They escaped a recreational yard at a jail in Abingdon, Virginia. On your screen now, they're looking for Albert Ricketson and Johnny Brown. Ricketson is convicted of double homicide. Brown was serving federal charges. Now, you may recognize Brown. He escaped from a Sullivan County jail a year ago and was eventually caught. Officials believe they are driving this stolen gold Cadillac SUV with Virginia tags UDZ 6049. There's visible damage to the back end. Officials say they're not sure which direction they're headed. Brown is from the Rogersville area. Police are offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to an arrest of each inmate. That's $10,000 total. If you see them or this car, call 911.
New details this morning. A man is facing charges following a bank robbery in Alcoa earlier this week. The Blount County Sheriff's Office says Richard Hines robbed the CBBC Bank on Topside Road just minutes after having a meeting with the bank's manager. Investigators say Hines got the cash, left the bank, hopped on his motorcycle and took off down Alcoa Highway. He later crashed near an on-ramp, spilling the cash. Deputies arrested Hines. He was taken to the hospital where he was treated. Hines is now charged with bank robbery and brandishing a firearm in a crime of violence. Happening today, body camera footage from the violent encounter between police and a Memphis man will be released later this evening.
All 5 officers in the case are fired and charged with second-degree murder. Memphis police pulled Tyree Nichols over on January 7th. After a quick chase, officers caught and arrested him. Following his arrest, Nichols died 3 days later in the hospital. His family describes it as a brutal attack after being shown the footage on Monday. Each officer in the case is charged with second-degree murder, aggravated assault, kidnapping, and official misconduct. 2 firefighters who helped treat Nichols at the scene have also been fired. Shelby County Schools is canceling all after-school activities today in anticipation of protests from that body camera footage being released.
Meanwhile, in Kentucky, the state is spending more than $12 million for new body cameras for state police. The cameras will be installed in squad cars throughout the year. Body cams will also be worn by SWAT teams and detectives serving search warrants. In-car cameras will record what's happening in front of the car as well as what's happening with anyone in the back seat. And new details this morning is the National Archives is now calling on former presidents and vice presidents from the last 6 administrations to verify that they don't have any classified materials.
Yeah, this comes after documents were found at former Vice President Mike Pence's home. Among those documents, boxes of papers and briefing books from foreign trips. Republicans in Congress continue to push to investigate President Biden's handling of classified material. Senator Tom Cotton is threatening to hold up the president's nominees until the administration shares more about what exactly was found at the homes of both President Biden and Donald Trump.
An FDA advisory panel is now voting to switch to one COVID-19 vaccine formula moving forward. They say they'd like to see the COVID vaccine offer more like an annual flu shot. Advisors will meet this spring to decide whether that vaccine formula does need an update. And WVLT is proud to be your official station of the Vols. A tough night on the hardwood for the Lady Vols. They come up short to UConn 84-67. Next up, doesn't get any easier as they now travel to 4th-ranked LSU in Baton Rouge on Monday night. Meanwhile, on the men's side, a huge matchup inside Thompson Bowling Arena. as the 10th ranked Texas Longhorns come to town. It's the SEC Big 12 Challenge. College Game Day will be live from Knoxville tomorrow morning. Tip-off for that game is 6 o'clock on ESPN. And make sure you join us tomorrow morning right here on WVLT for the Big Orange Tip-Off Show. Our whole sports team, Rick Russo, Zach Rickens, and Paige Dower, get you set for tomorrow night's game. You can catch it all right here on WVLT tomorrow morning at 10:30.
Also tomorrow night, more than $500 million is on the line as the Powerball jackpot continues to rise. The grand prize sits at $572 million. That cash option is $308 million. They draw those winning numbers at 11 o'clock.
It is 6:55. Let's get to Whitney Turner. She's got your first alert traffic.
Starting to get a little bit busy ahead of the morning rush. You're still in great shape as you get out the door. This is I-40 right around Hall of Fame Drive. All those interstate lanes open and moving right along. Just a heads up that if you're traveling this weekend, some road work is taking place along I-640 westbound. This is just on Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. right around the Broadway exit from mile marker 5 to out to 7. They're changing that overhead sign, so you will see crews out there. Could slow you down if you have weekend plans.
Your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Heather Haley.
5 minutes to 7 now on your Friday. And as we look ahead to your weekend, just remember that we've got a lot of changes from the cold winds today, those last couple of mountain snow showers this morning, sunshine through tomorrow, but more warmth tomorrow. And then here comes the on and off rain. The batch here that comes up by Sunday morning to midday, that's kind of our best coverage, gets us a good quarter to a third of an inch of rain in the valley and east. Just by the evening, that 3/4 of an inch line for the northwestern half of our area, and then we'll have some more going into Sunday night to Monday morning. So for now, just a big coat, umbrella not needed again yet. Right now it is 27 Knoxville to Sneedville, 25 in Oneida, 23 Crossville, still hanging on to 30 Pigeon Forge, but we are feeling colder. Wind chill 17 in Vonore, 19 in Knoxville, wind chills 22 Sneedville and Clark Range. Warm coats calling my name too. As we hit that high today of 44, just remember it feels like the upper 30s. Then we can top out at 55 tomorrow with that sunshine before that rain moves in. But remember, next week comes with more of that on and off rain. So a lot to track for you coming up on the CW.
Just going to soak up the sunshine while we have it.
Deal.
And just prepare for next week. All right, Heather, thanks. We're headed on over to WVXX. We hope you have a great weekend. Hope you join us over there.